Hey guys, today in this video I want to demonstrate two things actually. The first thing is I want to demonstrate this looper pedal here. This is Boss's new looper rhythm machine. It's called the RC-10R. They just came out with it a few months ago. And I want to demonstrate how that works. And then another thing I want to do is I want to demonstrate the capabilities of this amp. This is the Vox Mini3, which is very similar to the Vox Mini5 I did a video on a few years ago. But I want to do a comparison of that. This is a smaller version of the Mini 5, basically, hence why it's called the Mini 3. I also want to compare it against the Boss Katana Mini, which was previously my best small battery-powered amp. Now, this is not entirely a fair comparison because the Vox Mini 3 is bigger, but they're both battery-powered, and they're both the type of amp, I guess, a busker or someone would want to use. So I do want to do that kind of comparison as well. So first of all, let's look at the Mini 3. Okay, so the Vox Mini 3, again, very similar to the Mini 5 I did a review on a few years ago. The differences are, the main difference is that this is a smaller speaker. It's a 5-inch speaker, whereas the Mini 5 has a 6.5-inch speaker. And because of that, the Mini 5 is a bit heavier and a bit bigger. This weighs about 5 pounds. The Mini 5 weighs about 7 pounds, 7.5 or 7.7 or something like that. So it weighs a little bit more, and because it's a little bit bigger, it has a bigger speaker. Also, the Mini 5 was called the Mini 5 Rhythm, partly because it had a built-in rhythm section here. Now, all the other controls are pretty much the same as the Mini 5. You have the amp modeling right here, which has 11 amps, and you have a line signal as well for pass-through. You have a gain dial, you have a tone, a volume. That's all the same as the Mini 5. Power button, aux in, phones, tuner switch right here. You have built-in effects like compressor, chorus, flanger, tremolo, analog delay, tape echo, spring, and room reverb as well. And you have a mic input, trim, and send as well. Now the mic input is pretty special, and that's why I keep going back to these Vox Mini amps, is because I know I've done a lot of I've seen a lot of online comparisons between these different battery-powered amps. The Vox Mini is one of the few battery-powered amps that actually has a mic input. Like, most of them don't. Like, unless you're looking for like an acoustic amp, right? If you're looking for just a small battery-powered amp, like look at the Roland Microcube or even the Boss Katana Mini, or there's a few other mini amps out there. The Laney, I think, made another one. Who else? Like the Black Star, I think there's another one. The Yamaha THR 110 or THR 5, THR 10. Those are all great battery-powered amps, but they don't have a mic input. So if you're a busker, having a mic input is really pretty nice, right? Like, you have this extra mic input, and this is like pretty much the smallest battery-powered amp that you can get with a mic input. Now, there are probably some Roland cubes out there, not the Microcube, but I think there's the bigger cubes, like the performance ones that you see some buskers use out there. They have mic inputs as well, but they're a lot bigger and heavier. So this is pretty much the smallest battery-powered amp that you can get with a mic input, and that's pretty important if you want to, carry this around. Presumably, if you're busking or you're doing street performances, then having something portable and light is pretty important, right? It's fairly important. So, yeah, and then you don't have this rhythm section. Like on the Mini 5, you have a rhythm section. You don't have that rhythm section here. But that's fine if you have another drum machine or a rhythm machine like I'm using with the Boss RC-10R. Then this is not really all that important, right? You can always get a separate pedal or another device that you can plug into the aux, like the Korg Beat Boy that I also have, that you can use to make up for that. And it is powered by AC adapter, but of course you can also power it with the six AA's, I believe. This takes a little bit, which I think is the same requirements as the Mini 5. Yeah, I think it's the same power requirements, but I think this one should last longer. It should have better battery life because it doesn't have as big a speaker to drive, right? 5-inch speaker versus a 6.5-inch speaker. This one should be easier to drive, and it's lighter as well. So that's part of the reason why I switched to the Mini 3 instead of the Mini 5. The Mini 5 was a pretty good amp, but this one is smaller, more portable, and lighter. The only thing it's really missing is that it sounds a little bit smaller because it's a smaller speaker, but that's fine. Not too big of a difference. And then the Mini, the rhythm section, which it doesn't have, but you can make up with by using another another device or another pedal to make up for that. So that's, again, not big of a deal. So let's test it out. First of all, I'm going to test this out with this pedal. As I said, I'm going to be doing also a review of this pedal as well. So this is the RC-10R that Boss just came out with. It's $300, so it's very expensive. The reason why it's so expensive is because it's basically a looper and a drum machine in one pedal, and it has a bunch of outputs right here. So it has, you have expression pedal right here, DC input, expression pedal. You have 2 stereo outputs. I'm using a mono, right, because this is going to my amp. Another 2 stereo inputs as well, and again I'm using a mono. I'm going from my guitar here. You also have MIDI out, in and out right here, and micro USB for connecting to your computer to add in the loops, just like you can on their other loop stations. And that's pretty much it, but it's a pretty well built device, and it's quite capable. You can see there's a bunch of knobs here, and it's a little bit confusing to use. So basically how you use it is, there's a menu button here you can use. Let's look at that. Okay, menu button, you can select your rhythm and loop, control, MIDI, and this is basically your control right here, as you have a knob here. System with a satisfying click, I should say, and it clicks every time you move it, which is satisfying. That's why you can use it as your control device here. Mass storage, level knob lock, factory reset. So basically it's almost like a computer here. They do have, on the website it said something like a quad-core CPU or something. It has like a pretty powerful microprocessor chip inside of it. So this thing is basically like a computer. Like it has, yeah, I mean, these are like options that you would expect on, yeah, a pretty complicated like electronic device like a phone or something, right? You have all these options, which is nice. So you rhythm loop, and then you hold this, you hold both of these to write something, and then, you know, this is the exit button. Okay, going back. So those are those controls right there and what they do. And then you have different beats. This is for the rhythm loop. It has a whole bunch of rhythm, I forget how many they have, but at least a couple hundred, I think. Different rhythm loops that you can select from. So you have funk. These are all different kinds of funk, I believe. Well, let's just start it out. See, you just pressed this one to start it up. So this is the first funk loop. Different funk loops. You can also press in this button here, which can go you to the next selection, which is tempo. You can raise the tempo a bit. You can see it gets faster. Or you can lower it, depending on what you like. Right, so this is lower tempo, and it has like a default tempo, but you can speed it up to whatever your preference is, depending on what kind of song you want to play, right? Or you can go faster. You just go down to 100 beats per minute. Again, you can change the style. This would be soul right here. That was funk. This is soul. R&B. Traditional, I guess. Soft rock. Rock. Alternative rock. And punk. Yeah, this is heavy rock, metal. Pretty good. You see, it has these default tempo beats. You can change it to whatever you like, but this is the default. Electronic. World. Yeah. This is Ballroom. Not sure what that is. Guide. User beats, so you can create that as well. Acoustic. Yeah. Ballad. Yeah, there's a nice slow beat, right? Ballads and stuff. Blues, 12-bar blues. Jazz. It's a pretty fast beat. 180. Fusion. Pop. And again, you can also select what kind of within this genre, what kind of style? Shuffle, 16-beat, sidestep, 8-beat, percussion, swing. So even within the genre, you can change that. So ballad, for example, I want 16-beat or 8-beat. You can change that. And they all have their own tempo signatures right there. Right, and that's basically it. There is a lot of different beats and different settings that you can experiment with on here. These are all like basically slots that you can use. I think it goes all the way up to 99. Yeah, it goes up to 99 because there's 99 different slots that you can save your loops to, just like on the RC-3 that I have. So 99 slots to save your loops, and you have a variety of different genres that you can use here to have like kind of a template to loop from, which is pretty nice. Okay, so we're going to stick that one, and then see alternative rock. So I can adjust this tempo down. Now, if you want to record, basically what happens is, so first of all, you can record independently of the rhythm, or you can like tie them or sync them together. You adjust the level of each right here. So this is the level of the rhythm. You're going to have it loud. Right. That's the volume. And then you can adjust the volume of the loop right here as well. So that's the level of the loop. I haven't recorded anything yet, but I will. This one, you just press twice to stop it. Right, now here, I can record my own loop, and you just press it once to record, and then double tap to stop. Just like in Boss's other loop stations. Alright, so say I want to record something right now, but I want to have the rhythm track in the background while I record. So if I were to do that right now, it wouldn't really be in sync. Like the rhythm's going to be like its own thing, and then the loop that I play is not going to be in sync with the rhythm, so it's just going to sound like a mess. So what I want to do is put this into sync mode. So I got to hold this down. So it's light blue. So now it's in sync mode, which means that once I loop over it, it's going to remember the tempo. It's going to start and stop as soon as I press the loop. So it's going to be in sync like that. So if you want to record a loop with the rhythm, the backing track in the background, or the rhythm machine in the background, you should put into sync mode. So now if I record something, start sometime. Stop the loop, it's also going to stop the rhythm because they're in sync now. It's going to remember the tempo that I played it at. So yeah, that's basically how you would do it if you want to record with the rhythm in the background. So if I start this, it's also going to start this as well. I can overdub on top of that by pressing it again. Hold to delete. Yeah, and that will delete that rhythm sync as well. So that's basically it. The RC-10R. It's very, very powerful. You have like a whole bunch of rhythms and everything to choose from, so it's basically a lot of things you can do with it. Alright, so now we want to compare the Boss Katana Mini versus the Vox Mini3, see which one's a better value, which one gives you better tone for the price. The Boss Katana Mini is about $100, whereas the Vox Mini3 is about $150, so one is $50 more, and this one's smaller as well. So I would expect the Mini 3 to sound a little bit bigger with more headroom, but we can't just jump to that conclusion. We have to actually test it to see which one actually is louder and is better value for your price, for your money. So I'm going to set the gain a little bit lower right now. We will do a little bit higher gain later, but for now we're going to do that, and then we're going to have the Boss RC-10R with the loop that we just created, and let's see what happens. So this is the Boss Katana Mini, and I'm using my Fender Parts Caster right now with 2 Filtertron pickups, Telecaster body, so you know what kind of bass sound we get. Oh, we put a lot of delay here as well. Let's put turn delay a little bit down. Okay, so now start. can't exactly set this to high gain with the loop on because it just sounds so bad. Instead, you guys can just hear that was the basically the clean, not the clean channel, crunch channel. The brown channel is the really high gain channel, right? So the clean channel, right? It's like channel, and then what I just played was the that was a crunch channel, which is technically a bigger clean channel on the Boss. bridge pickup. And then the high gain channel with neck pickup first. Alright, and here is the Vox Mini3. Now the Vox Mini3 has 11 amp models, so there's definitely more settings than on the Boss. I think the black 2x2 is what I'm going to start with, because Boutique Clean is a little bit too low gain. You won't really hear that much. So I think the black 2x2, which is supposed to be a Fender blackface, I think this one is basically similar to the clean channel on the Boss Katana Mini. So you can hear what that sounds like. Clean channel. Now the Boss Katana Mini has a crunch channel, which is basically a super high, it's like a more, to my ears it sounds like a higher headroom clean channel. It doesn't exactly sound like a high gain channel. So on this amp, I think that might be the UK70s, which is supposed to be a Marshall Plexi. I think it would be the higher headroom clean channel. guess the high gain channel on the Boss, which is the brown channel, would be basically the UK 80s or the 90s on here, I believe, or even the Cali metal, but that's like, or US high gain. There's a bunch of settings on this amp that's definitely more options than on the Boss. So this would be the 90s, which is a JCM 900, I think. Between the two amps, I definitely think the Mini3 sounds louder, and that's not a huge knock on Boss because, again, the speaker on the Boss is smaller. It's a smaller amp, so you would expect that. But we just wanted to see, like, we wanted to confirm, right, that the Vox Mini3 does indeed have a higher power rating, higher output. Of course, it is bigger speaker, bigger amp, etc. So it's just a comparison between the two. Of course, the Boss Katana Mini is still really good. Sounds really good for its size. It is much lighter. It's 2.5 pounds. This Vox Mini3, 5 pounds. And the Vox Mini3 definitely has more features. Microphone input, for example, 11 amp models, right? Has more effects and everything as well. So basically, I think they can be, they're for, I know they're similar price. This is 150 bucks. This is 100 bucks. Similar price, both very portable. Slightly different audiences, I think. The Boss Katana Mini, just like the Black Star and the Laney Mini, more for people who want a really, really small portable amp. Just like they're just on a, I don't know, outside with their friends. You can, like on a picnic or something like that, on the beach. You can be like just playing electric guitar, right? You need some kind of amplifier for your electric guitar. So you just bring one of these dudes along. You can even fit them in your backpack, and it's a pretty decent sound for the size. It was a Mini 3, Mini 5, kind of similar to the Roland Microcube, the Yamaha THR 5, THR 10, the new ones that just came out. These ones are more, they can be like full busking amps, right? You can go outside, you can busk it, you can busk with them, do street performances with them. These are definitely louder for that reason, right? So I think they're a little bit different. Again, the size can tell you the most about these amps. These are a little bit bigger, but still can fit in the suitcase, but probably not your backpack. Again, these more for busking street performances. The Katana Mini and similar amps of this size meant more for like just you're going out on a beach or a picnic or something. You want to play a little bit of electric guitar, or even the park, right? You want to play electric guitar, not too loud, mainly just practicing for yourself. And I think that's where the difference lies. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Vox Mini3 versus Katana Mini, and also a look at the Boss RC-10R loop, station, and rhythm machine. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching.